There was a time before the world placed its weight upon your shoulders, before doubt slithered into your mind, whispering lies that rewrote your story, before you were told who you should be, how you should act, what you should suppress. Do you remember that version of yourself? The one who existed without hesitation? The one who did not ask permission to be whole? No, you were never lost. You were never broken. You only forgot. I have seen the deepest corners of existence, walked the forgotten pathways of time, and nothing shines with more brilliance than the force that resides within you. It has never faded. It has never left. It only waits. But you were taught to doubt it. They called you too much, so you shrank. They called you too little, so you stretched. They handed you a mask and told you it was your face. You learned to bend, to mold, to become what was needed to survive. And in that survival, you began to mistake the shape they carved for the truth of who you are. But listen, really listen. There is a frequency beneath the noise, a hum beneath the chaos. It is the sound of you, the one that existed before the world's expectations dimmed your fire, the one that moves through your dreams, untouched by fear, undisturbed by doubt. You have seen glimpses of it, haven't you? In the reflection of a stranger's eyes, in the flicker of your own silhouette in a passing window, in the unguarded moments when all the pretense falls away. For a heartbeat, you recognize yourself. And then, just as quickly, you turn away. Why? Because the world has trained you to believe that this version of you, the real you, is too much, too wild, too raw. They have told you that your edges must be smoothed, your fire must be tamed. But they were wrong. You were never meant to be a shadow of yourself, never meant to be a curated version of someone else's comfort. You were not born to be small. You are not fragile. You are not a collection of past wounds and borrowed fears. You are not the sum of every voice that ever told you that you were anything less than extraordinary. No, you are something else entirely. You are the quiet strength in the eye of the storm, the fire that refuses to be extinguished, the storm that will not be contained. The world has spent years telling you who to be. Now, it is time to remember who you have always been. The patterns you adopted to survive, they were never your identity. The burdens you carry, they were never yours to hold. The doubts that haunt you, they are ghosts of a past that no longer defines you. You are not the echoes of someone else's fears. You are not the reflections of distorted expectations. You are not the weight of every scar you've ever endured. You are the light breaking through the storm, the force that cannot be silenced, the truth that cannot be rewritten. And you have always been here. Beneath the hesitation, beyond the fear, beneath the layers of survival, you remain. Whole, unbreakable, infinite. The world does not define you. You define yourself. And when the fog lifts, when the doubts fade, when the noise dies down, there you will be. Undeniable, unmistakable, unstoppable. You were never lost. You only needed to remember. You only needed to remember. But remembering is not easy. Not in a world that thrives on your doubt. Not in a system that profits from your insecurity. They need you uncertain. They need you questioning yourself, seeking validation, begging for permission to exist. No, you don't need permission. You don't need their approval. You were enough before anyone told you otherwise. But here's the truth. Remembering who you are will not be comfortable. Growth never is. You will have to unlearn. You will have to strip away the layers of falsehoods they draped over you. You will have to let go of the identities that were never yours to begin with. And it will be painful, because you have spent years carrying things that were never yours to hold. Because you have mistaken survival for living. Because you have learned to wear your wounds as proof that you were here. But suffering is not a badge of honor. Pain is not your identity. You are not the things that tried to break you. So what do you do now? You rebuild. You reclaim. You rise. Not as someone new, but as who you've always been. You will not find yourself in someone else's approval. You will not find yourself in the reflection of those who refuse to see you. You will not find yourself in the expectations of a world that never had your best interests at heart. You will find yourself in the silence, when the noise fades and only your truth remains. You will find yourself in the stillness, when there is nothing left to prove and nowhere left to run. You will find yourself in the mirror, not in the distortions, but in the raw, undeniable presence of you. Not who they wanted you to be, not who they shaped you into, but you. Do you understand? Everything they convinced you to believe about your worth, your limitations, your place in this world was a lie. You were never weak. They just taught you to doubt your strength. You were never broken. They just convinced you to collect your scars like trophies. You were never lost. They just made you believe you needed a map to navigate a world that was never meant to contain you. So stop searching. Stop seeking. Stop waiting. You don't need more time. You don't need more validation. You don't need the world's permission. You need to wake up. Wake up to the truth of your existence. Wake up to the power that has always been yours. Wake up to the undeniable, unstoppable force that is you. And when you do, when you finally see yourself clearly, everything will change. Because the world has only ever had power over you in your forgetting. And once you remember, there's nothing they can do to stop you. So stand up, step forward, take back everything they told you you couldn't have. You are not the shadows that haunt you. You are not the fear that holds you back. You are not the past that tried to break you. You are permanent. You are magnificent. You are home. And no one can take that from you.